Let's talk about how to combine your slides with your webcams to make cool animations like this one and overall more engaging experiences for your students when listening to your lectures online. Before we do that though, you need to understand some basics of video conferencing software. Namely that normally your video conferencing software, whether it's Zoom, Webex, Teams, is going to take your webcam output and share that directly with your audience. What we're going to do to make this technique possible is we're going to put in a separate application, something called OBS. And that's going to enable you to combine your webcam output with slides, video, screen sharing, anything you want. Mix that all up inside of OBS, and then you'll be able to send that output to your video conferencing software. All right, the first thing we want to do is create some test slides. To do that, I'm going to basically build out a set of slides that have a green screen built into them. So to do that, I'm just drawing a box in this case, and I'm going to set the fill of this box to bright green. So more colors, 0 red, 255 for green, and then 0 for blue, and now, boom, as green can be. I'll go turn off the outline from this box, and then I'll send our little green screen to the back here. And then finally, let's move the text so that it's not over the green screen. All right, when I'm talking about green screen, what I mean is this is just like they do in the movies, where we are going to replace the green screen with some other video output. In this case, the video output is going to be your webcam. So I'm going to take this test slide here. I'm going to add just some basic animations. We'll animate the bullets in. I'll make a second one of these, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now we've got a couple of these test slides to work with. Next thing we're going to do is going to go download OBS Studio, Open Broadcaster Software. This is open source software for Windows, Mac. It's free, and it's going to enable us to do this green screen effect. So once you get that downloaded, you'll get a window that looks like this. Let's go ahead and move our slides out of the way. And then the first thing you're going to want to do in OBS is set up your video output. And in this case, I'm going to set my video output to be, mine's 920 by 1080. That's a great starting point. Give that a shot and see how it goes for you. All right, from here in the sources section, I'm going to add one new video source. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click the plus sign in the sources, video capture device. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call mine webcam. Click OK. And then here, I actually have multiple webcams, so I'm going to select one of my webcams down here, and there I am. Hello. Okay. Now this webcam can output at different resolutions. I'm going to actually set a custom resolution here, which is the same as my canvas, 1920 by 1080. I'll click OK, and then boom, here is my output. So this window right here represents what OBS is going to output, what it's going to produce. And these sources down here represent the input. So let's add one more element of input here. We're actually going to put on a window, and that window is going to be our slides. So in this case, we actually want to go over to our slides here. We want to go to Setup Slideshow, and we're going to show it in an individual window. Because for OBS, we're going to capture a specific window and put that on as one of our sources. So if I start this slideshow here, I've got my window, and I'm going to tell OBS, I want you to put this window on top of the webcam. So I'll click the plus again, I'll go to Window Capture, and I'm going to say, I'll call this Slides. And then it's going to give me a set of windows that I can potentially capture. In this point, I'm going to select the PowerPoint Slideshow Presentation 4. Okay, so there is my window. And you'll see that it's automatically captured my window and it's put it on top of my webcam. That's exactly what we want. You'll see that there's these black, well, let's go ahead and make it full size. Boom, here. But you'll see that the proportions aren't quite right. We've got this black bar up on top. And what I can do is I can take my window over here and I'll just resize this until I eliminate those black bars on the side and the bottom. So there we go. So now you can see I've got this little thing on the bottom that's being captured as well. But when I move it down here and get the top left-hand corner in the right spot, that little bar disappears. So this is exactly what we want. Now the problem is you can't see my face. You see the green screen. So let's get rid of the green screen. So we'll go into the go into the slides, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select filters. And then I'm going to click the plus sign in the bottom left-hand corner, and then I'm going to add a color key. And I'll just call this green screen. Hit OK, and then you'll see that automatically the green has been taken away. So OBS by default sets up a green screen for you, a green filter, and it removes, it basically deletes anything that's green. In this case, you'll see there's a slight green line between that's still left here, so I can take the similarity, I can turn that up just a little bit, and we should see that disappear. There we go. Okay, so that green line's gone. I hit close, and then all of a sudden we've got really close to what we're looking for here. So now we can see the webcam, it's just that I'm not in the shot yet. So what we need to do is we need to move the webcam slightly. So I'm just going to move, I just clicked on the webcam feed here, and we moved me, and then boom, I'm framed perfectly inside OBS, inside our output. And then if I want to start advancing my slides, I just click on the PowerPoint window here, I move to the right, and now you can see inside of OBS, the animations are coming through just as we want. So now we've got it. We've got our slides integrated with our webcam. One more thing I'm going to recommend you do before going for any further, add one more source. Go ahead and add an audio input capture. This will be your microphone. In this case, call it mic, add new, and then just select your normal microphone, whatever microphone you use for any of your either audio recordings or whatnot. And the reason why you do this, you don't need this to do the slides thing that we're doing, but you can use OBS to record videos. So if you are recording any lessons, you can use this exact same technique. You would just hit start recording, and you can capture everything. Without this mic, you wouldn't be capturing your audio. So you've added this just in case you want to take these same settings and use them later on. So we've got OBS set up to produce the output we want. Now we need to send that output to the places we want. We have two options to make that happen. The first is something called a virtual camera. Now your virtual camera is a piece of software that takes your OBS output and makes it look like it's a normal webcam to your video conferencing software. So instead of selecting your normal webcam, you simply select your OBS camera, and then automatically anything that you have coming from OBS looks like it's coming straight from a webcam to this video conferencing service. Now that's the optimal solution. Problem is that doesn't always work with every combination of operating system and video conferencing tool out there. So for example, this solution works great for Windows and Zoom, but Macs don't support virtual cameras at this moment. So there are people who are actively working on adding that support, and we'll add instructions below on which configuration works best for your setup. But if that doesn't work, then you simply need to do some screen sharing of the OBS preview window. And I'll show you how to do both of these, but take a look below for instructions and links on what to install for your configuration. So I've got the virtual cam installed. I'm going to go to auto start here. That'll just make sure every time you start OBS, your virtual camera will start all the time. And then I'm going to hit the start button for this first time. All right, and I'm going to set my buffered frames down to 0. Okay, so now I've got my virtual cam going. It's now sending output to any service that wants to use my camera. I'm going to go to Zoom, and then I'm going to start a new meeting here. You'll see, well, something interesting to call out here. You'll notice that my camera, the Zoom call is now all of a sudden being added to my OBS. And that is because when you do your capture, your slides capture here, this is capturing everything inside this window, and then it is removing anything that's green. So anything that's inside this window's region, I should say. So you can see that my Zoom window falls over this region, and so all of a sudden now my Zoom call is being included in my OBS stream. So you need to make sure that nothing is blocking this screen, this region, and you also need to make sure that you don't close the window. because if you close the window, you can't progress your slides anymore, and B, it will freeze. The section over here will freeze to what's currently, what was the last thing that was shown. So keep this window open and then move any other slides or move any other windows around as necessary. So I'll move this OBS one down a little bit because this is a little less important to us. And then I'm going to go to my Zoom and we will start the video. I'm going to go in, I'm going to select the OBS camera and then start video, and then boom, you can see this is what's going to Zoom live. So you can see it down here in OBS, but you can also see it, this is the output that's going live to Zoom. So as I go back here, just go back and you'll see that it's updating in Zoom in real time. So this is exactly what we want. So this is the optimal way to go. If you can use a virtual camera, this is easy peasy and you're ready to rock. The other option I have is to go down into OBS, and I'm going to, in this gray section here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to select Windowed Projector Preview. And this is going to give me a window that is a preview of the OBS output. I'm going to make this as large as I can, doing the same thing I did with the slides where I'm trying to eliminate any black bars. So get rid of those. And now, instead of using your webcam for producing and sharing your slides from Zoom, you're going to go into Screen Share. So from Screen Share, I'm going to select my Windowed Projector Preview, and now I'm sharing this live on Zoom. You can see the little green bar around here. So if I put this up over here, I can be looking better at the camera. And then here I can do the exact same thing I did before, and I will produce this, the same effect. So if you don't have a virtual camera, this is definitely the next best thing. All right, so once you've got it set up and working, now it's time to add a little flair, because this, this right here, this configuration isn't much better than just watching some slides. So you can see we've done some stuff here, like, you know, we've added a little slant here, we're adding some colors, some bigger font, just to make it a little more dynamic. So let me show you what this looks like. All right, so here's a basic setup, and then to get a little fancier, obviously we've got a yellow overlay on top of a full green background. Got the little intro piece here. This just animates from the side. But then you can also mix it up. You can do things like this, where you've got your green section of your slide down in the bottom right-hand corner, where you put your webcam down here, and then you can do more full screen slides, so that your face is still visible, but you've got a little more real estate for your slides if you want. And this is what that looks like. You can even look up at your bullet points as they come in and do all sorts of fun stuff. So play around, have fun, experiment, because this is genuinely just the tip of the OBS iceberg. There's a ton more stuff we can do. So if you would like more information or more ideas on OBS, let us know. Or if you come up with your own, please share them with us, because we're really excited to learn more and share these with the rest of the community. Thanks so much.